So we're using the loop exercises, which are on the syllabus. Okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to start at the test part. And actually, this is a little different, so this is fine. The first one should be really easy. I just did this, so let's not waste much time on this one. I inadvertently picked the same exercise. I didn't mean to. Okay? No, we're going to do it real quick. Okay, so we're looking at problem number 1. Let me go ahead and pull this up. And I want you to just form the test condition. That's why I told you should always start with these loops. I just did this, but it's a little different. So look at problem number 1, and I want you to form the test condition. This is where you're always going to start. Let me pull this up. Right here. Here's where you are. Step number 2. So what is this problem telling you to do? What kind of loop is this? Sentinel loop. So what should you write for step number 2? Yes. So go ahead and write that. We're only going to take a minute on this problem because I just did it. Okay? Now, what's the step to get this loop started? Yeah. Well, wait, that's step 2. Okay, that's step 2. Yeah, okay, yeah, but now we want to go back to 1. All right, so we've already done this. Everybody's done this. Okay? Everybody's done this. Okay, so now fill in step 1. So what do you do to start this loop? No, just you're going to ask for a numbering input. Okay? Everybody know what to do for step 1? So here, you just did 2, so now fill in 1. What do you do? I've just done this, so fill in step 1. So what do we do to prime the loop? If I'm entering numbers, what do I do, Brandon? Well, okay, yes, you have to declare variables, but I'm assuming that's happened. If I'm checking to see if numbers are not equal to 0, what is the start part of that loop? Yes, I like it. C out and C in. Okay, so welcome aboard. This is not that hard. Okay, if you follow me. All right, C out, enter a number, not -1. We're telling them 0 to quit. Yeah. And then C in the number. Does everybody see that? So basically what that boils down to is get the first number. In order to start this loop, we get the first... Oh, does it cramp in? Okay, so it's C in numbers. Does everybody see that? Okay. Now, the action is print whether it's odd or even. Don't overthink this. Just pop into step 3, and how do you print if a number is odd or even? I just did it, so hope to God you remember it from the 3 minutes ago that I covered this. But I'm not holding my breath. Okay? That's just a comment, and that's there so you remember the steps. But that's not required. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just there to help you. Okay, so your part 3. Who's going to tell me what part 3 is? Krista? Right. So just from before, if num modulus 2 equals 0, C out even, la, la, la. Everybody knows how to do that. If I asked you if it was positive or negative, you would know exactly what to do. You know, these are all problems from the if stuff, right? So in other words, okay. And then else. Okay, now what happens if I stop here? I actually showed you that. What happens if I stop here? Never-ending loop, an infinite loop. So we know we need to do step 4, and the good news is step 4 oftentimes looks like step 1, so go ahead and do exactly the same thing. Get the next number, okay? So we're just going to copy and paste these steps, and this is going to be our step 4. This is not the best document to be doing this in. And watch your indentation, because remember I said it really matters for a loop. And that's it. That's all you have to do for loop number 1. Okay? So let's go ahead and do the same procedure for the second guy. Don't panic when you look at the problem. Look at the problem and say, okay, one step at a time. What's the loop condition? Right? So let me put the next problem. Yeah, well, here's the next problem. Let me make this a teeny bit bigger. Yes. Yes. Yeah, so what it does is it prints even or odd, and then it asks for the next number. That's the, oh, I'm sorry, it's not really lining up. Yes. That is the restart of the 4th step. And a lot of times it looks like step 1. Not always. I don't want to say always, because it's not always, but a lot of times it looks like step 1. So, in summary, step 1 gets the first number, step 4 gets the next. And next could mean second, third, fourth, fifth, a millionth, right? Okay, so we're doing number 2. Best thing to do is practice with it. So everybody should have filled out, yes. I don't know. Pick something. This is a non-specific. This is not a good problem. I should have been more specific. Okay. So what's my? I want a voice I haven't heard from. Tell me what step 2 is going to be here. Whitley. Thank you. Perfect. While temp is not equal to 999. Right? So that's it. You just find the sentinel condition. And I bet I can get another voice not heard from to get step 1. I bet I can get another voice not heard from to get step 1. Hold on. I'm going to read you. Annalika. Or temperature. We're talking to the user, right? Or entered, right? And then next? Perfect. Okay. So if we break it down into steps, it's not so bad. Okay, now, you're supposed to print whether it's above or below freezing, so I bet I can get another voice not heard for to give me that action step. Exactly. Okay, so I didn't phrase this problem very well, so we really don't know what to do if it's actually at 32. So let's just say if temp is less than or equal to, I'm making an executive decision here. Okay, if temp is less than or equal to 32, we're just going to put C out freezing. Else, C out not free, whatever. Okay. So then my step 4, my restart step is necessary so I don't have an infinite loop. And what should my restart step be? Same as step 1. Okay? Everybody get that? So these same things come down here. But this is a good way to tackle these. Krista, question. Yeah? They'll be fine. So the way with this problem, okay, let's talk about sentinels again. This is a sentinel. Well, until 999, the way I see a true sentinel is only that value quits. Okay? So I do want to, before we leave sentinels, I want to talk, remember I said they derive from punch cards. They're sort of not the most elegant way of setting up a program. The advantage of running a sentinel program is you don't have to enter a lot of data. You can just enter a whole bunch of values. They're not asked questions and things like that. So it's sort of the most efficient way to actually run a loop. What's the disadvantage of the sentinel? What were some of the disadvantages we briefly touched upon on Tuesday? Who remembers what some of the, Tyler? Yeah, so let's say I picked 999 as a sentinel for temperatures. Well, what if 999 is actually a temperature? You know, I mean, obviously not in Baltimore or not on Earth, you know, but let's say we're measuring gases and that 999 is a valid temperature. This is not a good sentinel. So sometimes sentinels are hard to pick because the value could actually be one of those values, okay? Okay, the problem with that's actually, okay, the problem, let's do that. So let's go back to our program, and this is actually a good segue. And let's say that I want to mix up this problem a little bit. Rather than using a sentinel, I'm going to ask the user whether they want a loop or not. Okay? So what I'm going to do is say, I don't know, usually goes something like this. And then we're going to add a variable called answer, okay? And then we're going to change the loop. So what's my condition going to look like this time? This is like the one we did in lab, right? So this is going to continue to loop so long as they say what? Y. Now, I'm going to have to get the number, though, because I haven't entered the number. So I'm going to say cout. Okay. And then I'm going to repeat this step down in my restart part, because this is the yes or no that's going to be continued. Okay. Okay. Oh, instead of inf. Okay, so I've redone this problem. It's sort of like a sentinel, but this time the sentinel value is really a y or an n. Does everybody see that? Okay, now watch. Tell me what you like and don't like about this problem. Let's run it. Do I still have a problem? What's wrong? Who's my compiler? Oh, I have an extra problem. You guys are better than the compiler. What else? Cans? Okay. Okay, so now watch me run this. Watch the difference, okay? So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say 45. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say 34. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say 77. Well, I can still get out because I say, but what's the disadvantage about this problem? I have to enter Y. I've doubled my typing. If you're entering 1,000 numbers, this is very annoying. So there's the advantage of the sentinel. Do you see the okay? Now, this is a lovely way to make a loop. Many, many problems are yes or no based. Okay? But if you're entering a lot of data, it slows down the input considerably. Does everybody see that? Okay? That's why the issue is. So it's a trade-off. Okay, so let's look at some other kinds of while loops. Yeah. Well, what's that? Well, because you can't change types midstream. So in other words, I can't use yes, no, negative one. I mean, so I have to pick a type with the way this. Well, so what are you going to have them enter?
So, like, say, enter a number, and then you just 0 to Y.
Okay, but that's you're mixing types, which you can't do. So if you try to enter a Y, it's going to not take that as an acceptable answer. I mean, the CN is looking for, in C++ and in Java, you can't mix types and input, which is sort of a detriment. The actual way to do this, if I have a lot of data, I'm going to show you other ways. We're going to use a file, probably. If I have 1,000,000 entries, I'm not sitting here and entering it. I'm going to put it into a file and then read it from a file, which is, I'll show you how to do that too. So there's a lot of other ways, but if you have something where you have a lot of numeric, do you understand what I mean? That the type of char cannot be mixed with integer midstream. It'll cause the program to stop running as opposed to, not stop running, that's the wrong answer. It'll cause the input to stop, okay, and not cleanly exit the program.